This is the day where we have 80 jerseys that blend into one blue river. One blue river that flows constantly. The end of the river, the empty end of the sea as one. That's how we roll.
Same here, pro Sarah.
Hooray for us!
All right. Well, hello, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Great. Well, I have the distinct privilege of having two amazing athletes, one from Sarah Teddy Chung, rising senior, and Matt Johnson from De La Salle, rising senior as well. Matt, you're committed to University of Oregon.
That's right.
And Teddy is yet to decide, but he's got a lot of wonderful offers. And I appreciate you guys being on this podcast because this is for those students that have been watching you, that have been coming to games, that hope to have a similar experience as athletes and students and scholars. So I appreciate your time. And I'm first just going to ask you, Matt, why don't you tell me a little bit about your career in football as a young child up until high school, and what positions you played and what you hope to do in the future?
So I came into football pretty young. I want to say second grade I played for like the Walnut Creek Marauders. I don't even think they're still a team anymore. And there was no second grade team, so I played up with I think fifth grade or something. It was like a couple years older because one of the players I played with was a senior at De La Salle when I was a freshman. So anyway, I played that first year, and I played D tackle, always been on the line, and I really just hated it because the kids were so much older than me. But after that, I took a break for a year. Then I played for a team in Concord called the Cobras. And then COVID hit and everything got crazy. So I was playing for just like a different team every couple of weeks. Played for the DC Stars, San Jose Hit Squad, Mega Boys.
Nice.
And we would just travel all up and down the West Coast, like Arizona, Vegas.
Whoever was playing, right? Because California wasn't.
Yeah. So if you wanted comp, you would only get the kids who really wanted to play, which was the best players. Put like an all-star team together and then just take your team to the next best team however many miles away. So it was pretty cool. And then I came to De La freshman year, played JV my freshman year, and then playoffs hit varsity and played a little varsity freshman year. And then, ever since it's just been the same thing, just weight room, working with the guys,
Nice.
and just working towards that ultimate goal, win a state championship. So, yeah, still in the midst of it. One more year to go.
Nice. And what position did you play?
D tackle this year. I'm moving around from DN to D tackle probably this coming year. So, all
Very
around
nice.
the line.
Thank you. Very nice. Teddy, how about you? Why don't you tell us a little bit about your experiences in football?
So I started when I was 5. I started pretty young. Played Pop Warner for the MA Vikings, which a lot of Sarah kids did.
Yes,
so
they
it's
do.
kinda
That
cool.
and Bayside, typically, yeah.
Which is nice. So I played all the way through until COVID hit, and I was a quarterback. So I was a quarterback up until my freshman year of high school, and then I got moved to running back freshman year, and then my sophomore year I got moved to safety, and I've been a safety ever since.
Nice.
But when COVID hit, I actually because we didn't play Pop Warner, so there wasn't any games. So I focused more on travel lacrosse. I played a lot of travel lacrosse,
Oh, nice.
and then kind of picked football back up freshman year.
Very cool. And so tell me, so you still haven't decided where you're going to go, right? Both of you have had very wonderful experiences being recruited. Can you talk a little bit about what it's like to be at something like this, which I know this is our second annual, so it's not very familiar at this point. But I mean, going through both routes, having scouts look at you and dealing with just like the one-on-one communication, and then obviously having an opportunity like this. Can you talk about this experience?
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for guys to get looked at, by a lot of coaches at once. It's kind of like our own little camp. And obviously when there's less people, everybody gets a little bit more of a look. So it's just, it's a good part of the recruiting process. It allows us to get out here and, spend some time with some kids from another school that you might know from outside of football, or, even just see what the other team looks like, see a little bit of competition. So, I think it's always good.
Nice. And your experience with, when did you commit to University of Oregon?
About a couple months ago in February.
Okay. And what was your experience moving forward with that? Did you get multiple offers or?
Yeah, I had about 17 or 18 offers. But once I got Oregon, it was one of my first ones I kind of knew, just because, I'd always wanted to go there. I'd spent a lot of time in the town of Eugene, just organically from my mom's husband. He lives there. So
Oh, nice.
I've been up many times and, just felt comfortable. Coaching staff was super cool. and those guys love to work. I was able to get out to practice with them, and just, the way they approach their everyday work to, go out there and win games during the season it's really cool. It's energetic. Those guys come into work, they love what they do. Coaches, players, everybody loves being there, which I think that's just key. So I'm real excited.
Very nice. So I know we have a coach here today from U of O. So that's
I
great.
think Coach Luport here, or
Yep, you're
Coach
right.
Tuioti is one of them.
Yep. Awesome. And Teddy, what about you? Tell us just a little bit about just what the recruiting aspect of football has been for you.
I'll speak kind of like similar to what he was saying. Like, I think just being at a school like Sarah or De La Salle, like, you don't really realize how much of a reputation you have till you start to travel. And I definitely noticed that, like, when I was even on the East Coast, I would be wearing my Sarah jacket, and like kids would recognize the school. So there's definitely a level of prestige that comes with that. And you get to play the best competition in the state and the country. So I think just developmentally for me, it was really helpful. Like, switching to a new position was difficult because I had never really played defense, but I was around really good players, and I got the chance to play against really good players. So I think it just helped me get a lot better.
Very cool. And would you guys say, like, just in terms of just the balancing academics and athleticism, it's really important for these colleges to see that you can play hard in the classroom and on the field. Can you talk at all about just that process?
Yeah, I mean, the classroom has to come first, because a lot of these coaches, they're not looking at it from like, oh, how smart are you? It's a sign that you can like manage your time. And so, it's a reflection of you and how you carry yourself. So, you got to step in the classroom, got to get your work done. Even in season, we don't have as much time, got to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sarah's kind of unique. Like, I'll shout out one of my teammates, Clay Hinsdale, but he's a kid who is in a lot of AP classes, a lot of honors classes, and that's not really a rare thing at Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of a misconception, but a lot of our football players are really, really smart. So you kind of have a strong network of support, and even if it's not a teammate, but it's a friend, it definitely is not as difficult as it might seem. And I think, honestly, during football season, it helps you because you have to make sacrifices. Like, and usually it'll end up being like, I can't play video games tonight or something like that, but it really helps you focus on what's important. I think at the next level, having to balance college athletics with college education, that'll really be helpful.
Awesome. Well, I'm really glad you brought up Clay Hinsdale, because he is a wonderful guy, and he's my neighbor, so that's great too. Just overall, there's some confusion for some of the younger players, some of the middle school students. Can you guys just describe, like, what does an offer mean? What's a commitment mean? Like, if a kid comes in as an 8th grader with a bunch of offers, what does that mean? And how do you kind of identify what is an offer that you can accept or not, as a true opportunity to play in the next level?
I mean, like, as for the kid coming out of 8th grade with a bunch of offers, I mean, it's great. It's flattering. I mean, it means that somebody who knows football evaluated you and saw something that could potentially be really good. But ultimately, nobody's ready. Nobody's college ready at 8th grade. So it's like, it's an honor, and you have like people that recognize that you could be a good player, but you still have 4 or 5 more years of proving yourself.
Hey, reset the clock. 10 minutes.
Like,
please.
my
10
dad
minutes.
always tells me, it just ain't over till it's over. So you got to come in and work every day like it's your first day. So I would just say, for the kid that's real young, getting a lot of college attention, just know you ain't there yet. You ain't there until you graduate, play your last game of high school football, and you just got to finish. So don't ever think that you're like above working because you have a lot of accolades or anything, because all that is like basically fake.
Totally. No, great
Until it
advice from you
comes.
and your dad. You're right. That's true. Do you have anything to add?
I mean, he probably knows better than me, but I would say the biggest difference that I think people outside of football don't realize is not every offer is committable. So you could get an offer, but that doesn't mean you could call the coach and say, hey, coach, I want to commit and sign to that school. So there's definitely different levels to it. But yeah, I think, like he said, if you have offers at a young age, it's usually a sign that coaches can recognize your talent, and a lot of times those kids will end up getting a lot more offers when they get older too.
Very nice. Now, I just want to ask you guys each a question. You have 2 coaches that run very similar programs. They weave faith in with brotherhood and just so many wonderful values, and they're very good friends. And they do something so cool like this, where they bring opponents together to be to promote each other. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience with Coach Allenbaugh, and then I'll ask you the same with Coach Walsh.
Oh yeah, my experience with Coach Ball has been great. I mean, talk about a stand-up guy. Like, my experience with Coach Ball has taught me a lot because he's somebody that just carries himself like very differently than a lot of other people in a lot of ways. So seeing him operate, picking up the game from him over the past 3-4 years, just listen to what he has to say. I mean, it definitely it rubs off on me and all of us. And I just think, we could all take a page out of his book as far as, being disciplined and doing the right thing as often, as much as you can. So, yeah, I say it's been great. And runs a great program. All the coaches here do. I think we got a lot of good staff that make this place great. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Walsh I think he's an incredible guy, especially as I've gotten older. I feel like obviously he's a great football coach, but his greatest strength is really his personality and kind of the passion he brings to the field, because I feel like it really rubs off on everybody. And especially things like he teaches you real life lessons, not just football, like things like emotional vulnerabilities and how to deal with that, especially as a man. And he's done so many great things for so many people. Like, my older brother was a player here, and I know that he confided in Coach Walsh a lot, and Walsh is just an incredible guy. And he's built an incredible coaching staff around him too. Like, every single one of our coaches here is a great coach. They're a great person. They're funny. So it's definitely I got to know a couple of the De La Salle coaches as well. I play KT Prep, which is a 7-on-7 team that's basically run by
Nice.
them. And they're pretty similar. Like, again, great guys, like funny guys, great coaches. So, yeah.
Great. Well, they're both wonderful programs, and you two are wonderful gentlemen, stand-up guys, great poster children for both great programs, and I really do appreciate your time today, and best of luck in the season and in the next level, both of you. So thank you so much. Go
Appreciate
Spartans,
you.
go Padres.